Greetings again, brothers and sisters, in His glorious name. I want to take a few minutes today and discuss with you long-term food storage via the Mylar bag, how inexpensive and long-term it actually is. Me and the kids spent about 2 hours today, two and a half hours, and we bagged 200 pounds of flour and 150 pounds of pancake waffle mix. And I'm getting ready to show you here the steps involved. But that's 15, 30-year storage, and it's very inexpensive. I went to a local flour mill here in my area, bought fresh flour, opened the bags, put the bags of flour, poured their contents into a 7 mil, not a 5 mil, 3 mil. Get a good bag, get a good Mylar bag. In there, before I put the flour in, I put about half a teaspoon to a whole teaspoon, depending on how well my 8-year-old daughter was paying attention, in the bottom of that Mylar bag. And then I put 5 pounds of flour, the 5-pound bag of flour, in that bag. Take that bag, put an oxygen absorber inside of it, take and seal it. A lot of people would just single seal that bag. I double seal the bag, lay a line across, seal it, back up off of it, lay another line so you have a double seal. Then you take that bag and you put it on a flat surface and you compress it. If you hold air pressure, maintain pressure 5, 10, 15 seconds. If it holds pressure and you're putting a good amount of pressure on it, no air is coming out, your bag is sealed. Then we take those bags, label them with what they are, how they were sealed, when they were sealed, put it inside of a 5-gallon plastic bucket with a locking O-ring, lock that ring bucket down, labeled outside the bucket. A lot of people would do storage with Mylar and store them in a box or in a plastic tub or whatever. That Mylar bag is pretty invulnerable to your environment as far as time, air, so forth, but it's not invulnerable to mice, rats, and other pests and rodents, or just sheer weight of other bags compacting on top of it, you bouncing around. So I like to place those inside of a bucket and seal those buckets. So what I wind up with is a 5-gallon bucket with 20 pounds of flour in each one, in 5-pound increments, individually sealed in the Mylar. Of course, I tend to do things over precautiously, because last thing you want is to think you have 800 pounds of flour and have 800 pounds of nothing. Pancake waffle mix, that's a little shorter shelf life. That's going to be about 7 years, maybe 10. It just depends on if you can keep it in a cool place. If you can keep it in a very cool place, it's probably going to run out to about 15 years. But it's a blended product, so it's going to have a shorter life. It's bagged the same way as far as the Mylar bag and the buckets. I buy it also locally, and it is retail sealed in a package, vacuum packed inside of a package, low to no oxygen. So what I do in that case is I just take the bag without altering the integrity of the bag, place 2 of those retail bags inside my Mylar, put an oxygen absorber in there, double seal it, air test it, bucket it, label it, blah 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 blah. Why do I leave it in that retail package? Alright, leave it in a retail package. That retail package is a factory seal, well done. I check it for compression before I put it inside, so it's good to go from the plant. And well, if it's so good to go, Mike, why do you put an oxygen absorber in there in the Mylar bag? Well, because they may fail. You may have a failure, and if you do have a failure, then you have a double layer of protection. And in the event of a failure, not only do you not lose one product, but you don't lose 2. Also, it makes it very convenient when you take that product out. The retail packaging there was in instructions and all that, and it's in a small increment that's meant by the manufacturer. You could use it without having this huge Mylar bag of crap to deal with. Alright, coming up next is going to be just the steps involved. Again, dry packaging, pretty much any good, is very easy. In 2 hours time, like I say, we did a couple 100 pounds of flour, a lot of pancake waffle mix. All you need to turn this into edible food is heat and water. That's it. So I encourage you to take steps, prepare for times of adversity. Some people think maybe apocalypse or zombie invasion, or who knows, whatever. But I can promise you, at some point in your life, you're gonna run into some adversity. It may be a layoff. You may have a family member that's laid off. You may get in a situation where, due to weather or other man-made circumstances, you're not able to get your hands on food. And so during these times when food is plentiful and your money is plentiful, let me repeat that, because I don't care who you are. If you're listening to me, this applies to you. Your food is plentiful and your money is plentiful. How can you say that, Mike? Well, I can say that because if you're watching me on front of a computer and you're in the United States of America, then food is plentiful. If you are destitute and have no cash, then you have food stamps. And I encourage you to provide provision for your long-term food needs, regardless of what your income level or resource level is. Now, granted, if you are making $155,000 a year, then maybe in the course of 2 or 3 months, you can have 2 years, 3 years, 4 years worth of food for you, your family, your neighbors stored up, and it's all going to be the Cadillac version of expensive foods. If that's not you, if you're at the bottom end of that scale, then you should be putting food away even more so, because you have less of a safety buffer for when you run into a time of adversity or complication. So here we go. Here's the steps involved. Be encouraged. The King is coming, and Christ is the key to your salvation.
Shalom, Israel. This is a song that I just wrote, and it's dedicated to all the Israelites out there that's waiting for Yahweh Shai to come take us out of this captivity. Here it is.
We're praying for salvation to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai.
We're ready.
Come and get us from this place that you brought us, 'cause now we know who we are, the sons and daughters of Yahweh. We're sorry for the sins we've done against you. Now we keep your laws, your statutes and commandments too. So come and get us from this awful place that you brought us.